Welcome to the C-List Villains Podcast, a podcast dedicated to sharing our fondness for comic books and all things comic related. Our goal is to cultivate the comic culture and entertain you at the same time. I'm your host, AJ, and I'm joined with Red, Luke, and E-Man. And welcome to our very first episode.
First episode! Yeah.
Official.
Yeah, official first
I
episode.
love it. We had a few weeks of practice, and now hopefully we got it going.
Yep. How is everyone's week? I like to ask that before we start.
Who'd like to go first?
How about you, Red?
Oh, wow. I think even though we didn't have ComicCon, I'm still broke. I think I spent a shit ton of money buying exclusives.
Really? I bought none.
So many exclusives.
It's nuts. It was easier to get in line and waiting for stuff than having to physically get in line at the con. But yeah, that was my week. How about you guys?
What about you, Luke? Yeah,
a lot of good stuff came out. Hasbro put out some good stuff. Those Transformers. IDW put out some really good books with Usagi Yojimbo and A Sleeping Beauties by Peach Momoko. So some good stuff came out from the San Diego at home. I thought it was better than I thought it was going to be, but not as good as I hoped it would be, if I could say that correctly.
Gotcha.
Well, you know what? As long as it was better than what you thought it was going to be, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And yourself, E-Man, how was your week?
Week was chill. You know, I picked up some books yesterday, and the reads are okay. You know, I didn't really get to follow any of the San Diego Comic-Con at home stuff, and I feel like I missed out on that. But
Gotcha.
I'm hoping we're going to be able to catch me up on the podcast tonight.
Of course, that's it. Speaking of San Diego Comic-Con, that is the topic for tonight. So, sounds like Red and Luke got a bunch of exclusives. To be honest with you, I did not participate in any of the Comic-Con online. No, I take that back. I did attempt to get the Usagi Yojimbo Peach, but that was a shitstorm.
Why? What happened?
That was crazy. Crazy.
That, and I heard that the Funko website was bad. I mean, I didn't even try that. So those are the two that I heard were really, really people had bad experiences as far as trying to order stuff online.
Well, I wouldn't say it was, bad experiences, but when you have, hundreds of thousands of people trying to log in at the same time and they don't have the server capacity to take in all of those orders, it's gonna bottleneck their network. So it's just first come, first serve. We can get through, right?
Well, you're the resident IT guy. Well, what would have you done different to those web servers? Because there's more than 100,000 people trying to log in.
Honestly, for San Diego Comic-Con, add more servers, add more bandwidth, and just allow as many people to come on. But at the same time, those guys have X amount of product to sell, right? So the more people that come in, the more they have to fulfill. So bogging down the network, it kind of makes a little bit of sense. So that way they don't have to fulfill more than they have to.
Right.
Yeah, but the main issue when I was accessing the Funko site was it got stuck at the shipping portion of the purchase. So no one got beyond that point until they fixed it 45 minutes later. And by the time they had it fixed, most of the stuff was starting to sell out, and then stuff was disappearing from everybody's shopping carts.
That's what I heard too.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Just disappearing from the shopping carts?
Well, because it was already starting to sell out, that they're already allocating which units go to which person. Even though it's one per person limit, there is millions of people trying to access the dang thing.
that's why I think selling stuff like exclusives online like that, it's just like trying to go online and try to buy a rare pair of Jordans. You have only had 150 people trying to buy Jordans, and you have 250,000 people logging in. Yeah, it's whoever can get through, as AJ would know every time he posts.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I try to get any sort of exclusive Nikes on the sneakers app, and I maybe gotten 1 out of 10. The way I do my sneakers is the way I do comics. I don't buy it unless, like, if I can never resell it, I'm okay wearing it. That's how I go with it.
Ah, gotcha.
But it sounds like Red and Luke, you guys both did get exclusives. So how about you guys share what you guys got? Luke, what did you get?
Well, I've actually struck out on all of the Peach exclusives.
Oh man.
For the last month, I've struck out on everything. It has been, if you're not logged in and ready to buy in not even 30 seconds, 10 seconds now, then you're going to miss out on it. It's just been that crazy. And you have to really feel for collectors, because it's pretty much become a dealer who can get to it first to post on eBay fastest.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even one exclusive sold out and the store was bragging about it, and there was already 55 postings on eBay. There's your sellout. The resellers bought them all. So you do have to feel bad for the collectors on that one.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the IDW stuff was hard to get.
Well, when you have to battle bots and other people trying to log on online to buy the item, it's gonna be a tough battle. And with the Peach Momoka stuff, I mean, she's the flavor of the month. You know, her stuff is gonna be hot for at least the rest of the year. Am I wrong on that?
What did you pick up?
I picked up a couple of Funko, the Dwight Cyclops, and the Jack in the Box Funko, which I'm up to flip because somebody at my Funko store wants one. So I'm gonna trade it or flip it to him. Then I got a couple of books from IDW, the Optimus Prime one. I think I sent it to you, a link to you guys to get it too. And the Joe Coy Funko that came out on Friday night.
I almost picked that up. I almost did, but I passed on it. Did it sell out?
No, it's still there. Because even the same night, I think they had Fluffy. I don't know his real name. The comedian.
Gabriel Iglesias, right?
Exactly. Yeah, his Funko came out at the same time.
I thought he's already had several.
This one came out. I think it's number 3 on the Funko line, or because I know Joe Coy is number 4. I guess they're gonna start this whole series of comedians. So I'm hoping next down the line will be Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle. Who's our favorite guy?
Rex Navarrete.
No, he's not that famous.
Dane Cook. Dane Cook.
Not Dane Cook, but the one that says the F word a lot. Or your favorite F word, Louis C.K.
Oh, Louis C.K.
Yeah, that guy.
That's for another
Mysterio
podcast
toucher.
right there.
Yes, that guy. So I'm hoping that'll be in the future run of Funko line.
Gotcha. So I know Red and we've gone to San Diego. I think, was it 3 or 4 years in a row now? Prior to this,
roughly, yeah. We started 2016.
Yeah,
2016.
I'd gone a couple times before that. Luke, have you ever gone?
I have never been able to get a ticket.
Okay, well,
I've tried several times and I've never been able to get one.
I'm putting the stamp on this right now. If we keep doing this, we're gonna get the media badge next year.
Yeah, get the media badge.
That would be awesome.
I like it.
That's my goal for us. We continue to do this, we're gonna get that media badge for San Diego.
So we wouldn't have to get in the lottery anymore. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. See, I'm down for that. I would. Hey, sorry, boss. I have Comic-Con tickets as a media personality, I would need to take a 4-day weekend.
I believe it's called Press Pass. That's what they call it.
Press pass. Sorry, boss. I have a press pass to the San Diego Comic-Con.
I'll be honest with you. As far as this year, last year, at the end of last year, I was starting to feel some con fatigue. And even this year, I was like, well, maybe I'll just do WonderCon in San Diego. And then now that everything closed, even this year, at the beginning of the year, I kind of felt like, man, I don't know. I might be burnt out for San Diego this year. I might just, because usually I'm lined up for all the exclusives. I try to get everything. And, I was starting to get burnt out. But I think, it sucks to say, but it's almost like this was kind of a good break because it's going to recharge us for Red and I and forever. Anyone else who wants to go, I think. And this whole shutdown, I kind of feel as though it lets all of us remember that these are all things that brought joy into our life. And now that we don't have them, it really does, it sucks,
For me, even though I have never gone, I still look forward to San Diego Comic-Con because I want to see what's coming out, especially revolved around the movies. Right. I always look forward to the MCU, to the DC movies, to see what other comic book movies are going to come out. Maybe one of my favorite properties is going to get their TV show or their movie. And I'm always excited for that. I like listening to the pop culture side of Comic-Con. And without that this year, honestly, my July feels slightly empty. And that's just for me. And 1 year, I would love to go with you guys. That'd be awesome.
But you managed to squeeze in one convention this year. But even though it was postponed, 8 months?
The Toy Con. That's right. I did make to one con this year, right when the pandemic started. So I ended up going to the Las Vegas Toy Con, and I was able to get my Peter Cullen and Frank Welker autographs on several items. So yeah, you're right. You know what? I did get lucky. I got lucky. I was able to go to a con this year. It just sucked because I couldn't shake Frank Welker or Peter Cullen's hand because they're like, you know what? Let's try not to spread. Let's just, elbow bump. Yeah, they're like, try not to shake their hands. They're old. I don't want to be the one that gave Peter Cullen coronavirus. You know how that would suck? You know how that would make me feel? I'm like a huge Peter Cullen fan. And it was the Filipino guy. He's the one that gave him the corona. Damn it. So they were like, they were like, don't shake no hands. Just, try to respect. And I was like, I will.
What cons did you normally go to prior to COVID, Luke?
Rose City is my main con here in Portland.
Okay.
And then this year I had a full weekend for Emerald City up in Seattle. And then that just all got shut down too. But yeah, the Northwest cons were always my Washington State Summer Con. That was a big one. It just started actually. So,
I know it's not too comic book related, but it's still kind of pop culture-ish related. Did you ever go to any of the PAX cons? Penny Arcade Experience or something like that? Oh, okay. Yeah, because that's a big Northwest con also, but it's mainly music and video games.
Yeah.
Okay. Red, what are your thoughts on the cancellation of San Diego?
Wow, that's a big question.
I know that you were getting a little con fatigue too.
I was. I guarantee I was. It's just the moment that you do get fatigued, and then months after you've been stuck at home, then you start to miss it.
That's exactly how I feel. Yes.
Yeah. But once you get on the con floor, it's like, do you force yourself to walk the floor and get the stuff you need, or do you give into that fatigue and just sit around and, what I would do is just go to the anime room and watch cartoons until the con is over. I think I did that on Sundays, the last day of the convention at San Diego, just because I was done because we would walk the floor for about roughly 3 days straight, plus the Sunday morning. it's time to rest up.
Yeah. Thinking about San Diego, it's just the sea of people and the lines. You hate it, but there's also like this. It's kind of like, it's weird. Like when you're in the experience, you're really hating it, but then if someone was to ask me how was San Diego, I'm like, oh man, it was so much fun. I don't know. I can't explain that. I don't know why that is, but it's just
for any convention. I think the experience is always going to be great, but the being in the moment of it, it's kind of miserable because you do have to swim through a sea of people who probably had camped out the night before and haven't showered, or stepped on your toes or getting in your way. There are just multiple types of people that will kind of annoy you.
Yeah.
And isn't Comic-Con not even about comics anymore? It's all pop culture, collectibles, and whatnot. I mean, the whole comic convention feel of Comic-Con, from what I've heard over with some of the experts, is pretty much gone. Like, there's a small area for comic books, but that's it. Everyone's there to see Robert Downey Jr. or T'Challa or the MCU cast or Kevin Smith. No one's there to see, the $1 million Superman comic that's on display.
I will have to say that is incorrect.
Is it? Okay.
I feel it's incorrect because I understand what people say, like, oh, it's just a pop culture convention. But I would say 80% for comic related stuff. Mm-hmm. So I go to the Marvel booth, I go to the DC booth, I go all the publishing booths. They've always got tons of stuff for sale. There's still a lot of top-notch artists that are at Artist Alley that you're not going to see anywhere else. That's the thing about San Diego is you're not going to see Art Germ anywhere else. You're not going to see Kim Jung-ji anywhere else. I mean, there's a lot of artists that you're not going to see Derek Chu anywhere else. Not that I know of, at least. All the big artists that people want like sketches from or autographs from or prints from, they will be there. Okay. So I understand the pop culture movie related stuff if people could say that, but there's still a ton of comic related stuff that you can get.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. That's really good to know.
The exclusives sell out and they're still sought after. So the comic side of it's still very strong.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I want to hear that, to be honest with you. I want to make sure that the comic part of Comic-Con is still going strong because that's what started it.
It's probably more strong for the artists selling their books and selling their packs than A1 Comics coming down from Sacramento and selling their comics because the booths are so expensive. I'd say it's probably stronger for the artists selling their original stuff there, because fans can get access to that where they can't on a normal basis.
I'm surprised you mentioned A1 because those guys grabbed two locations in each big event. I mean, they have two booths, either WonderCon or SDCC, and I bet they're always going to be at Emerald City as well. Am I correct?
Or even Rose City. That was my first shop. That was my shop growing up. So,
I mean, they do sell pretty decent priced books, well, moderns at least. But I haven't seen them put out any of the older stock from their store. But yeah, they're a huge name still in at the conventions.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, the whole Comic-Con experience, it's still, for me, it's still highly comic book related still.
Okay, good.
Now,
I'm glad.
As far as Comic-Con online, I know you guys touched on it a little bit, but yay or nay, was it a fail for Comic-Con online? What do you think, Red?
Other than the online purchases, I never got to experience the panels. I think I kind of skipped that, but I heard there were some good panels. I did take a peek at Kevin Eastman's panel, but it was really like this, where it's a Zoom meeting and he's just saying hello to everybody and updating everybody on whatever he's working on at the moment.
Right. What about you, Luke? Did you think that Comic-Con was a fail this year, as far as online?
Exclusive sides of it was awesome, I thought, because it gave everyone an equal shot to get something. You didn't have to be there, so I could get something just as easily as someone who bought a ticket. So that part was awesome.
Right.
The panels were the part that I thought were just it was tough to find the panels. The schedule was all weird and wonky. Finding the, getting the link, if the link was sent out like 5 minutes before the panel started, and it was just, that part was a work in progress.
Now, yeah, you didn't know it was going to be on YouTube or on Zoom or whatever outlet there was.
Yeah, or Instagram, or
they didn't put any kind of links out there for people to follow.
I think they did.
Did panels cross like times? Like, were there two different panels going on at the same time? So you had to just pick one or the other to watch, or were they all kind of staggered so you had the opportunity to watch all of them?
I'm not sure on that.
Yeah. Because they might have gone with the old model as far as like if you were even to show up at the convention where they do have everything on the schedule and they have certain panels at the same time.
Right.
But they try to keep the bigger panels kind of separate and then have the smaller with I guess at the same showtime.
Gotcha.
It's hopefully it's just this is the only time we'll get to experience this as I guess as an online, because after COVID that maybe everything will be back to normal.
Yeah, hopefully.
With COVID, we're kind of finding out.
What was that?
Well, I was going to say with COVID, we're finding out what can work online and what can't. There's certain things around the nation where, like, what, it's probably better if we can just do this online. But it doesn't seem like Comic-Con online is the best place to hold a Comic-Con, because it's one of those things where you want to be there, feel, experience, joy, everyone having the same energy. There's certain things that you just can't put online. And I'm hoping that once COVID's over, that we'll be able to go to a con and we can enjoy a con together rather than doing it at home by ourselves without that energy of other people experiencing that with you. So, like, here's rooting to next year being a genuine, everyone there together Comic-Con without any kind of worries, to be honest.
Yeah, well, worry about just taking a shower before you go to the convention.
I'm not worried about me taking a shower. I'm worried about I'm worried about Frank, John, and Ralph, who don't take showers, for 3 days. Those are the guys I'm worried about.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not worried about me, man. I'm clean. It's like I said, it's those guys.
Clean-ish.
No. I'm older now. It's clean.
Well, for me personally, I thought that the San Diego Comic-Con group, the organizers, they did the best they could, but with that being said, it was a big fail for me personally. I didn't even attempt to see what panels were available, just because I knew it was going to be some sort of Zoom meeting. And honestly, that like, I would go home, like I would go online sometimes when I was at home after a con, and like the Walking Dead panel at Hall H, even though I wasn't there, I would watch it on YouTube, and you feel that excitement.
Yeah,
because the crowd is up and ready for it.
Yeah, a crowd makes a difference.
Exactly.
It really does.
And when it's just like 12 actors talking about the show, and you don't get that excitement, it's just really. It didn't bring me in to want to watch any of the panels, to tell you the truth. And then with the exclusives, I wasn't feeling what exclusives were out, and I kind of feel as though because Comic-Con was canceled, and I think a lot of the big booths, they probably were foreseeing it to be canceled, or they may not. They were already considering not going, So I kind of feel as though a lot of what exclusives they were going to put out, they decided to not put them out just because they weren't going to bring their A game for this year. That's how I kind of felt about some of the exclusives that came out.
Also, keep in mind, AJ, I mean, Comic-Con was canceled, in March or April? They only had 3 or 4 months to really prepare for something like this. When before, they typically take 1 to 2 years to prepare for the next con. This is something that just happened and everyone just kind of hit a roadblock. There's just no con. So they had to do everything they can to bring whatever they can together. So yeah, it's a failure, but you know what? They were able to put something together. Yeah, At least fans were able to go online and say, hey, look, there's this, there's that, there's something happening. It's not like it was completely canceled. So they tried. I give them an A for trying.
Yeah, like I said, I give them the credit. However, I just, to me it wasn't really that. I wasn't too excited about it, to tell you the truth. But they tried. Do you guys foresee another cancellation next year? And how do you guys think, I guess not only Comic-Con, but how will the con experience change going for the near future? What do you guys think about that?
I think it's going to be less people. Unless there's a vaccine, unless there's medication out there, I think if they decide to do another con anywhere, it's going to be less people and smaller. They're going to want to do a con still. They're going to want to get people out and enjoy all the collectibles. But I don't think they're going to have, number one, as many people. And number two, restrictions as to what you can bring in. And they're probably going to check if people have taken showers, man. I don't know.
Well, they'll probably be doing temperature checks.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that actually does anything. I mean, I feel like you can still have COVID-19 and still be within the temperature range. I mean, I don't know,
but if you do have a temperature, they're not going to let you in.
Yeah.
That's a big definite no.
They did have a smaller con out somewhere in like the Midwest, right? Like I think 2 weeks ago. I thought I saw something on Facebook.
There have been some little mini cons going on, I've seen.
Yeah. I wonder how those are going. I mean, does anyone know anyone who's attended, Luke?
I've seen some postings, but they've been very small, just local cons and limited amount of people allowed in at a time. And it just seems like not a fun experience if you have to wait outside for 2 hours to get in. I don't know.
Yeah, there's one set up here in Sacramento, but they couldn't get guests. So they, instead of a convention, they made it to a swap meet. That way, they kind of skirt the rules or having I guess an event having more than 100 people. Because now it's just a shopping experience.
And that was indoors, or it was indoors, I'm assuming.
Yeah, indoors. It was set up for, I guess, next month in September. Yeah.
Oh, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. I think they're still trying to make the call to. Actually waiting for the governor to make that call.
I see. Okay, well, I hope that this pandemic will go. I mean, it's not going to go away, but hopefully there's some sort of vaccine and there'll be some semblance of a normal con next year. I really hope that San Diego will still be available next year. Let me ask you guys this. If COVID-19 is still around, but they've got a handle on it, will you guys, and you had the opportunity to go to San Diego next year, would you guys go? Yay or nay?
Yay.
We'll leave it at that.
I would say yay. As
Yay?
long as they have a handle on COVID, yay. If they have a cure, or a vaccine or a way to help medicate the people that will get it or have had it, it's like by then hopefully it's just like catching a flu and there's a vaccine for it.
All right.
So yeah, if they have a handle on it, I'm there if I could.
Luke?
I don't know yet. I'm not sure. I'd have to see where everything's at still. I can't answer yet.
I mean, your profession kind of depends on that answer too, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Totally.
very true. So then it's pretty much this. If Luke goes back to work, hey, we're going to ComicCon.
Exactly.
So watch your teachers, because if they're going back to school full time, then hey, guess what? You're going to Comic-Con next year.
Yeah, no school at all until January. No
Minimum.
face-to-face at all until January.
Yeah.
For Oregon.
But you're doing the online classes though, correct?
Yeah, online. Online only.
What about you, Red? Will you go next year?
If there's a small possibility that this virus could give me superpowers, then yes. Yes, I would. In the way I guess the news is going about it is there is a vaccine that's already being tested, and then a few more on the way. So you figure by beginning of next year during spring, every one of the essential workers on the front lines are going to get vaccinated first, and then everybody else will follow after that. So we'll all have to wait our turn to get vaccinated. But then there's also the question of cost and who's going to foot the bill for that. But that's another podcast to do. But yeah.
Okay, so it looks like we've got 2 yays. Luke is a possibly. As for me, I'm all in. I'm down to go. Even this year, I was like, man, if COVID is still around, do I want to go? Do I not want to go? I was hemming and hawing about it. I'm almost glad that they made the decision to cancel it, because I think I still would have gone, but I wouldn't stressed out about people around me.
Yeah.
So it was a good thing that they canceled it.
Yeah, it's really weird for me because I just don't want to be around too many people. You know, in Comic-Con,
very understandable.
There's hundreds of thousands of people there in one area. Like it would freak me out, to be honest with you.
Oh, just assume that everybody has cooties.
Yeah, honestly, that's how I see it. Like, oh, you have something. Stay away, kid. Stay away. Yeah.
Well, if that's how the zombie apocalypse is gonna start, then being in a crowd of 100,000 people, it's not gonna be a good idea.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's close the chapter on this conversation. Normally, fans, we would be talking about any sort of entertainment news, but because there was no San Diego Comic-Con, there hasn't been a whole lot of entertainment news as far as comics. I haven't heard much going on. Have you guys heard any news?
No news.
The comic realm?
Go for it, Luke.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there's actually some pretty big news that came out this week. And they're talking about the next big MCU event being Secret Wars.
But that's I heard about that, but that's the Delotto storyline, correct? The one that he did he illustrated, is that correct?
The 1984.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that one, the original.
Okay.
Yeah, because I heard that the Russos are going to step in and do Secret Wars, the movie. But there's just a lot of things that need to happen in the MCU in order for that to happen.
Massive. That's a massive undertaking. But awesome, and that's also why Doom's coming into play now. So they're saying Doom. They're going to bring Doom in, Doctor Doom, and he's in Secret Wars. So
brings in the symbiote.
Could be. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen, right, with Secret Wars. Like, I haven't read it, but I know of it. With the Russos helming it, and with Marvel not having really released any bad movies in a while, it's going to be a while before we get Secret Wars, but the lead up to it, I think, is going to be great. You know, and I'm looking forward to seeing what can happen in the MCU. I mean, we already have the Kree, we already have the Skrulls. I mean, honestly, it's endless and they're doing it right. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm just waiting for the X-Men to be introduced in the MCU. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah,
Dying
I'm
for
waiting
that. I'm dying for that.
You know, and it's definitely going to be revolved around the snap, either the snap or quantum realm, one of those two.
Well, there was news last year about bringing in Deadpool in the third Spider-Man movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that's still on schedule, because that would be great to have Spider-Man and Deadpool team up, and then via that you can introduce some of the X-Men already.
One thing I did see was I know that they've been delaying this over and over again, but they showed, I think it's the first 2-3 minutes of the New Mutants, and then they showed another trailer. And I gotta say, from seeing that first 2 minutes in the trailer, I am interested in watching it. I mean, I don't know what the delay is. I've heard that it's because Disney saw the original and they hated it, so they did a bunch of reshoots. I don't know if that's the case or not.
You know what? I read Feige actually watched New Mutants, and he was like, "This is fine. Release it."
Well, it's not like they're going to use that same universe over again. That movie is already in the works.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: if it's a standalone movie, right? I mean, we don't know what the plot is, but if it's a standalone movie and they don't reference anything, they could bring those into the MCU, right? There'd be no issues. The next thing I wanted to ask you guys: who did watch The Old Guard?
I did. I watched it.
Luke?
The what?
The Old Guard?
Great movie. Great. I wanted to give it a 9. I really, really wanted to give it like a 9 in the 9.1, 9.2, but it landed in the high 7s for me. So I think I'd give it a 7.8.
Okay, I got to ask why, because I thought I would give it a 9. I would, but what made you go to a 7 then?
I think Charlize Theron's character was a little too flat for me. I wish she would have broken out a little more into some personalities. I also thought the flashbacks were a little cheesy. I think they should have made them a little grittier, and instead they kind of just look like cosplays. And so that's why it brought it down for me, because the flashbacks were a little jarring. Like that just looks kind of silly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it was produced by the CW kind of deal, or
yeah, it was a little CW or like Xena Warrior Princess. It should have been like
that. I could see that. I could see
it was
when it should have been like you should have really, I don't know, used like a grainy camera or made it like a little. Instead, it was just like DV with cheap costumes, and I don't know if they were cheap actually, but
it's like they didn't have the money to make it look better than it was.
They're like, this is a 5-second flashback. Just put on a costume that we have in the back wardrobe department. And that's what brought it down for me. Everything else was awesome. The fight scenes were great.
They were amazing. They're amazing. Yeah. The fight scenes alone is what, I mean, it was pretty badass the way Charlize fought.
Yeah, the way Charlize fought, the way the whole team fought, I really appreciated the diversity in the team. And then I really appreciated how the new girl who came in, her acting was wonderful. I don't know her name, but that new girl, the young black girl who was a sergeant in the army, she was fantastic. I really liked her character a lot. I believed it. Charlize Theron, I understand what you're talking about, Luke, but she's been around for a long time. So yeah, that's why she's got that attitude. That's why almost all of them had that attitude, except for the new girl. Direction was wonderful. The pacing was great. Script was great. I personally would give it a 8.5, 9 myself. I understand the flashbacks, and yeah, some of the looks were really like, ugh, what that Is that wig on straight? I'm not sure. But overlooking those, because they didn't really take a lot away from the story. I never read the book, and I really kept myself from reading the book before watching the movie. I wanted to watch the movie, and I thought it was great. It was fun. Mimi and Erica watched it with me. They absolutely loved it. We all had a great time with the movie, and that was the most important thing, was that we had a great time with the movie.
Yeah. Well, I do kind of agree with E-Man on the sense of why Charlize's character acted the way she was. I mean, she was the oldest living being, so she's probably seen it all, done it all, and all her emotions are all fucked up. So she's like, whatever.
Yeah, that's how I took it.
I didn't read. I do have the single issues, and I thought about reading them, but I never got the chance to. But when I was watching the movie, I was kind of thinking back on the storyline, and you know how Charlize's character, she lost her immortality. Spoiler alert!
Oh, spoiler alert! Wait, hold on, Red. Have you seen it?
No, but thanks.
Oh no!
Oh, what did you break?
No, my beer bottle's fine.
Spoiler alert! She does lose her powers, right?
Red's
and I'm like, dude,
screw this movie now.
I'm like, I don't remember that. And then I read online that Greg Rucka changed the script in the movie because it gives it more, I guess, levity. Because if all of them can't die, you know, there's no consequence. And the you know, my girlfriend, I watched it with my girlfriend, and she got really into it, especially when there was the I'll just say the betrayal. She was so upset.
No. I saw that coming. Like,
I
we
did
saw
too.
it.
Yeah.
We saw it coming from a mile away. I was like, watch. But yeah, when it happened, I totally saw it coming. Yep. But I also like the resolution to it at the end.
Yeah.
You know.
I do too.
Well, it's not like you know, you just found out that Bruce Willis is a ghost. You know, that thing was, you know, no one saw that coming from a mile away.
No one saw that one. No, but
here's the only thing that made me the maddest about that movie is that they didn't at least attempt to find their friend. I thought that Kiki Lane's character, I thought she was going to say, "Let's go find her."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Her friend in the iron suit at the bottom of the sea. And she didn't. She just accepted it.
Mimi and Erica, before the end even happened, they're like, she's at the end. She's there. And
yeah, she has to. The lock rusted off, you know, or whatever.
Yeah, something happened.
The way I saw it was that Charlize's character, off screen, like Andy, through like hundreds and years, did search for her, but she never did. Yeah. She never could find her, and so she just gave up.
Yeah, that's how I took it too. Is that Charlize Theron's character tried? She tried to follow the way the boat went and everything. I think she tried, but I think they just threw her literally off the deep end. Like she went far, and they couldn't find her. They couldn't find her at all. And now I predict that she's gonna come back with a vengeance, looking for Charlize, upset, wanting to kill her because she left her. I don't know if that's what happened in the books, but that's what I think.
And she's insane. Yeah, she doesn't know.
Yeah, I mean, being locked up in that thing for God knows how long.
Was it like 500 or 600 years? It was a long time.
Constantly drowning?
Yeah, constantly drowning over and over again. Red, you need to watch it. Spoiler alert. You need to watch it, Red. It's a really good movie.
Just after this recording, it's coming on.
Yeah, you have to. Right after the recording. And it's not that long. It's less than 2 hours long, too. Yeah. Such a good length in the movie.
Sorry, so is this where comic book shows are kind of heading that way with the boys and Watchmen and now the Old Guard? Is it more story driven, grittier, you know, action instead of just the popcorn kind of movie where, you know?
I would hope so.
I really would
hope so.
I think there's a place for both. I mean, those Marvel movies, they're great popcorn movies. You don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
And you just zone out and watch all the cool action sequences and whatever witty lines someone's got to say, And then there's other movies or other TV shows and movies that are a little more serious and a little more grounded.
Well, I hope we get more comic book series that are more low budget. More, you don't have to spend $50 million to produce a comic book series or a movie.
Look at the Losers.
That just puts it so unattainable.
Yeah. Losers, A-Team, even a movie like The Old Guard. All of these movies didn't seem like they had high budgets to them, but they still ended up being pretty fun shows or TV.
Well, as long as the writing is great,
and
they're kind of loyal to the source material. I mean, Preacher was actually pretty good on TV.
I heard Preacher wasn't good, but
the first season of Preacher was great. The second season, I really didn't get to finish. I watched like the first 3 or 4 episodes and I just stopped. Not because it wasn't interesting. It just kind of fell off for me. But the first season of Preacher was really good.
Yeah.
I thought so.
And then what was the other one? Oh, the one on Cinemax, Outcast. That one book
by Kirkman.
I think that show had potential. I think I watched the first episode because it was free, but I never got Max. I never got Cinemax, and I don't know anyone who has Cinemax. And I'm like, why did Kirkman go with them to do a new show? Like, no one's gonna watch it.
The way it came out, in my opinion, I felt like it was rushed. I felt it was like, oh, Robert Kirkman, he's making that Walking Dead TV show. Bring him in to do something for us. Come on. I felt like it was rushed. You have to baby it. You have to nurture a project before it can come to fruition. Otherwise, it's just going to come out, something's out, and then it dies right away.
That could have been true, but I also feel as though if he just signed with like HBO or Netflix, one of the more established networks, it would have lasted. I feel as though they just threw a ton of money at Kirkman and he couldn't say no.
Yeah, of course. And that's a problem, right?
And speaking of TV shows, last year or 2 years ago, Deadly Class was my favorite show. It only lasted 1 season on Sci-Fi. If it was on Netflix, I feel like that could have been a hit. But
Did
I
that
don't know.
get canceled?
Yeah.
It
was only one season.
Oh.
It was
I did
good.
not hear it got canceled.
It was good. AJ was like trying to get everyone to watch Deadly Class. After every podcast, he was like, "You guys need to watch Deadly Class. It's one of my favorite books." And he checked up on me like, "Hey, did you watch it? Hey, did you watch it? Hey." And I finally watched. I watched, I think, like 6 or 7 episodes. Again, it wasn't that I wasn't interested. It just fell off for me. But when I saw what I saw, I thought it was great. I was really invested in a lot of these characters. And even to a point where I want to go back and read the comic myself. And I really wish that comic book show had continued. And yeah, you're right, AJ. If it was on Netflix, Hulu, HBO, it probably would have gone for a lot longer. Lot longer.
I feel as though, and it sucks to say because I'm guessing that a lot of comic creators who have negotiations with other networks, they're throwing them a ton of money. And, they're probably thinking, you know what? They're going to like let's say Rick Remender, maybe they threw him a lot of money as opposed to signing with Netflix or HBO for Deadly Class. And he had faith that show was going to be, promoted correctly and pushed. But at the same time, no one really watches Sci-Fi, that channel. And it's like, it's really unfortunate for that show.
Unless you're watching Sharknado.
Killjoys. I think Killjoys was on that on Sci-Fi when it first comes out. Killjoys was a pretty fun show, and a lot of people went to Sci-Fi for that show. So
and then Z Nation.
Which one?
Z Nation. They're like they're Walking Dead ripoff.
Oh.
Oh, Z Nation. Yeah. How was that? Did you watch that? Because I know you're into zombies.
Oh, horrible. It was horrible and campy, but that's what made it good.
Wasn't Z Nation based on a video game?
I don't know. I know it's a comic book now, but
Oh, okay.
I don't know any other history than that.
Gotcha.
All right, guys, let's go on to our last subject of the night. What was everyone's pickups of the week, reads of the week? What did everyone get this week? Looks like E-Man's got a lot to share for us.
Oh man, I actually picked up books this week. This is great. I kind of feel good about this right here. They're not great, but I picked up books.
What'd you get?
So I went ahead and jumped on the whole Empire thing. So I picked up 1, 2, and 3 over the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
To be perfectly honest with you, this whole storyline so far is kind of like, it's kind of weird. It's very Christian-y based with a lot of Messiah talk and a lot of God talk, and I was like, this doesn't feel right. I don't know why, but you know, the whole Avengers Fantastic Four teaming up against the Skull and the Skrulls and the Kree. After 3 issues of reading this, it's still not telling me why there's a foreseeable battle coming to Earth. So I'm gonna stick with it just because it's Dan Slott. I also ended up picking up some pre-Joker War stuff. So I got, I ended up picking up Batgirl 47. I got the variant cover to Batgirl 47. And I picked up Detective Comics 1023 and 1024, just things leading up to Joker War, just because I want to see what's going to happen. Like when I read, I went back and I read Batman 89 to 94, and wow, it got really good. So I want to continue with that on and see how Joker War is going to be. So I picked up Batman 95, the first, issue to Joker War, and I'm going to see how that goes. I haven't read these yet, but I'm going to this week.
Luke, I know you've got some heat that you got to bring as far as pickups of the week.
In terms of new books, not too much happened this week. X Factor relaunched, which is interesting. So X Factor 1 with about 10 variants. There's a new ASM that was really unexciting.
Was it that Sin Eater one shot?
I think it was just ASM 45, I believe. Yeah, Sin Eater though came back, but really just kind of boring. Nothing too cool. TMNT 107, I would suggest picking up. There's a new character revealed in that issue.
Okay.
So pick up TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 107. Should have a first appearance in there. So anyone that follows that should do all right. I did pick up a few things in the last couple weeks. Of course, there's a big debate right now on this book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
With
yeah.
Virus.
Everyone's. I think I saw someone posting on your page, Luke. So, what's the first appearance of Virus? Was it the free comic book, or was it Venom 25? I think you said you're like, hey, UPS is not going to dictate what comes out first, or something like that.
This was printed in February and sat in a box until July.
Yeah, sat in Marvel's warehouse.
But it was printed. It was already made. And then they decided to do Free Comic Book Day in July. So I would count that as the free thing. Also, Thor 5 is getting a lot of heat. But Thor 2 for some reason. But if you want, stick with Thor 5. Stick with Thor 5s. The stuff is print out. But if you can find this Ribbit cover, this is kind of the one that you're going to want to get. Thor 5, the Ribic or Ribbit, I don't know how you pronounce it.
Isad Ribic, is that how you say his name? Isad Ribic?
I've never met him.
Like a Rubik Cube? Rubik's Cube?
R-I-B-I-C.
Okay, Ribic.
And then also a book that's probably still has a lot of room to grow, I think, is the Venom 9, the animation variant. That's the first full appearance of Dylan Eddie's son. I think this has a lot of room to grow still. So
I've got a lot of the other covers. That's the only one I don't have.
Try and find this one. I think this is still going to blow up a little even more. And then for a Star Wars book, I'm gonna throw this one out. This is a book that I think is gonna become pretty big. Actually, it's Darth Maul's brother. It's hitting the $40 range already, and all the copies have disappeared on eBay in the last 3 weeks. Every single copy is gone on eBay. Gone. There's only one copy for sale. And so,
is he gonna reappear on Star Wars Rebels? Is that what the big news is?
I don't know why this one all of a sudden blew up in the past.
Well, I think I don't know if you guys have been following what's going on with Ray Park, but I think he was supposed to like have his own like I don't know if it was an animated show or a live action, but then like I guess he put out on Instagram like his wife or ex-wife giving him he was some sort of lewd video that he posted. So then I guess he got fired from whatever Disney job he had. So I think people are expecting, because if there's going to be a Darth Maul series, obviously the brother would have to be in the show as well.
Wow.
Ray Park kind of fucked that all up with
Disney.
Yeah.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah, no, it's okay because they brought James Gunn back. I mean, they can always bring back Ray Park.
This is true. I think James Gunn was a one-off though. So like they're like, yeah, no, he's already apologized for what he said in his past before this all even came out. So like, dude.
Like this guy made us money, so yeah, bring him back.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know how you can do with how can you say that what he said? I don't know. I'm not going to get into it. But I do have some giveaways for this week. I thought it would be cool since it was con week. I found some sealed polybag comics for giveaways. So these are all from the 90s, and they're all sealed polybags with cards in them. So if any of our listeners message me on Facebook or go to my group, facebook.com, rkfacomics.com, Facebook/rkfa comics, or just message me, Luke Weeks. You can, I'll do a giveaway next week on the podcast, and one lucky viewer will win all 4 of these.
Oh, wow.
A hardware sealed, a Robin 2 sealed with the cool Joker covers, an X-Force sealed in the 90s, and then a Magic the Gathering. With a 1990s Magic card. And these are actually
nice.
Oh, which one is that? Oh no,
it's a Fireball. But these 90s cards are actually worth a little bit of money now. Yeah. So
Magic the Gathering cards are worth a good amount of change.
And I'll do a giveaway on the next podcast.
All right.
But someone has to message me.
Members of the podcast are ineligible to participate.
All friends and family. See what's going to me.
Eris, Jade, listen for the podcast.
What about you, Red? What did you pick up? Or did you pick up anything up this week?
Nothing on Wednesday, but you know, all the stuff I already had picked up during ComicCon weekend.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I also picked up this past weekend. I bought 2 of these. RC Transformers. Which one is this? Cyberverse Adventures. It's so hard for me to find in the RC out in the wild, and I found 2 of these at 2 different Targets, and I picked them up. I bought one for myself, and then I bought one for Eris because her middle name is RC. So anytime I can find RC, I definitely pick it up for her. So I got super lucky with this right here.
That's awesome.
So
most toy shops have people they pay off on the inside, so most toys don't see shelves anymore.
Really? Red.
Toy shop pays off Target stockers, Walmart stockroom people, and they text him as soon as they get a shipment in, and he's there and buys the crates.
Are you serious?
That's true.
Wow.
And flips him 10% of the total value.
That's crazy.
I've known some Hot Wheels collectors like that.
Yeah.
They get first dibs at the boxes before they go out to the shelves.
Because once those boxes come in, there's always that golden Hot Wheels that's in the crate, and that's what they go for.
Right.
I know that, man. That's crazy.
Never see the shells. It's messed up. I think it's messed up.
Red, I just found out that there's a toy store in Manteca that was just recently opened, and I think it's next to that comic book shop. So when you get a chance, look for it. Keep an eye out because they have a lot of Transformers collectibles there if you could.
All right. Well, let's see. What did I get this week? I got the 3rd issue of Nailbiter. I have yet to read it, but like I said, Nailbiter has always been my favorite comic.
Is this a... Because I've heard of Nailbiter in the past. Is this like a second volume?
Yeah. It's called Nailbiter Returns.
Okay.
I also reread, because I have the single issues for Something's Killing the Children, and that book has been heating up, and I decided to reread everything from issue 1 to 8 today because the last 2 issues I didn't quite understand what was going on because I forgot everything, and then when you read them all in one sitting, it all makes more sense. I forgot about all the characters, and I even forgot about a lot of the scenes because I kind of felt as though it started to go like the build up to whatever was supposed to happen in this next arc. I was starting to lose interest, but then once I reread everything, I fell back in love with the book. So,
and that one's written by James Tynion IV. Isn't he the same guy who does Batman?
Yes.
Nice. So it's got to be good story writing.
Yeah, and that Joker War, I'm really thrilled about that too.
Yeah, I'm with you. After reading Batman 94, oh my God, I was like, I need to know what's going to happen. This is just a crazy ending to this and the great beginning to the next arc. So if you haven't read Batman 94, I actually read that one and all the story that led up to this moment in Batman and Bruce's life, you got to jump on this one, man. This is good. This is some good reading.
So this isn't just a big storyline for Punchline. This is a really significant addition to the Batman mythos. Is that what's going on?
Yes.
I mean, from what I've been reading, this is essentially James Tynion is saying this is the final Joker story. So I don't know what that really means because, characters never really die. But if there are 3 different Jokers, this could be the final Joker story for these Jokers, and then another Joker will be reborn, is what I'm guessing, like a couple years down the line if they want to bring it back. They'll just say, remember that 3 Joker storyline? There could be multiple Jokers, well, here's a brand new one. So I think my theory is they're going to kill Joker off at the end of this.
The current Joker?
Yes.
Okay.
The current Joker. And lastly, I picked up, I don't know if you guys ever read the new Superman run. It was when they had the Chinese Superman.
I heard of it, but I haven't read it.
I read issues 1 through 10. I thought it was fine. It was enjoyable. And I found issues essentially 11 through 23, except for issue 21, in the back issue bin for $1. So I decided to pick it up and try to finish off that storyline. Just because I read it and, I didn't mind it. I thought it was kind of entertaining. It's essentially a teenager who gets Superman powers, and I kind of felt as though, this is how I think a teenager would react if all of a sudden just one day they got Superman powers. Like, people were telling him you need to hide your identity, but he doesn't want to do that because it's like, I got all these powers, I want to show it off,
So it's just like a parallel to the Spider-Man mythos too? I mean, as a teenager getting superpowers.
I could, you know what? There's, I could see that. Yeah. I guess there'd be some parallels to that.
Okay, that's definitely worth the pickup then.
Yeah. All right, with that being said, guys, that is the end of our very first episode. Cheers to everyone that's listening, and I want to thank the 3 guys that are with me, and hopefully we'll have many more episodes to go. Speaking of Comic-Con, hopefully we'll blow up to the point where we'll have our own panel. That would be awesome.
That's the dream. That is the dream right there, my friend. And remember,
my goal is this season. Hopefully, we'll get that press pass for next year, and then we'll build on that, and maybe we'll get our own little panel. And it doesn't have to be Hall H, okay? It doesn't have to be Hall H. But give us one of the halls in San Diego Comic-Con. That's cool.
Just one of them. Yeah. Oh man! All right. And now, keep in mind, all of our listeners can actually reach out to us. You can email us. Find us on our Gmail account, clistvillains@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter @clistvillains. And please look for our friend, Mr. Luke Weeks, on Facebook. He has auctions and comic books ready to go, just waiting for you to pick up. He has his he's got his videos coming up once in a while, and he's
live
check
auctions,
him out. Live
Saturdays
auctions,
and Wednesdays.
Great prices also. So keep an eye out for Luke Weeks as well, my friends.
And what about you guys? You guys have any social medias you guys want to promote? Red,
nope.
email? No? All right.
Robbed me this week.
The Rare Keys Comics group that Red and I help run, and it's a great little group of people looking for that rare or first appearance book. So
they're also their holy grails.
Facebook.
Right. That's the
RKFA.
RKFA. Gotcha. And folks, you can find me on Instagram, AJ the Comic Collector _ between each word. That's the only social media I have currently. We are working on getting that Instagram account, guys. So once we get that set up, we'll let you guys know.
I mean, we can set it up right now if you think about it. It's just a matter of
yeah, but we don't have a. I want the logo. We don't have a.
Hey, we're working on it.
We're working on that.
Putting the onus on me to do it. Yeah. I already got the theme music, now the logo.
Yeah. With that being said, guys, have a good night and stay safe.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.